Hi, Mandy.
Hi.
How are ya?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
How has life been since I last saw you?
Life is just crazy.
Oh.
I don't know. It's like all over the place.
Yeah, how so?
Yeah. I mean, I've just like come to a big crossroads in my life. I feel like. So I've just recently gotten my midterm report card back, and I'm failing 2 of my classes. And like before, I was kind of having like difficulties in class, just with like some aspects, like as you know, like exams or this or that, whatever. But now it's like the whole class because like I'm failing the whole class. So. So I just found that out recently when I got the report cards back. So that's been like a eye opener, I guess.
Yeah, I can imagine that could be so much stressful.
Yeah, because it's like the stress of failing the class, but then it's also like, am I in the right program or like the right track if I can't even pass the classes? Like, I think they're really interesting and I like what I'm learning, but you know, if I can't pass them, then like maybe this just isn't where I belong.
I got you.
So
Have you, like, can you go into like more detail of your classwork? Like, have you been struggling with, I know you said exams, but like, have you been struggling with homework in any way or, you know, anything like that?
Yeah, okay, yeah, so the exams a lot have been what's been putting me really behind. And then in one of my classes, the homework is kind of like take-home exams, and we're not allowed to like work with other people on them, and not that I like want to copy with people, but sometimes I just think it's easier to like discuss things, and then that kind of opens your eyes to different perspectives. But like we're not allowed to do that, so it's kind of just like taking a quiz home, and like these answers are just like, you know, one way or another. Like if I like try to tell the professor like, oh, well, I chose that answer because of this and this, it's like, no, it's like the right way, like,
I got you.
you know, so it's kind of like cutthroat in that class a little bit, and it's very like lonesome because you don't have that like working it out with other people. But yeah, so that's just an example from that one class. So
Okay. And how do you study for these exams?
I like to go to the library, you know, and I just try to like write stuff down because they say that like if you write stuff down, it helps you remember. So, you know, either if I'm just writing down like key points out of the textbook, or I'm just rewriting notes that I once took on my computer, you know, I try to do that. So yeah.
Okay. And are you usually by yourself when you go studying?
Yeah. I mean, like sometimes maybe if I go and I like see people in my class there, like I'll sit down, but mostly just like I go alone and I study alone.
Yeah, okay. So you study by yourself. And has anything else happened in the last week? Like, how's like social life been going on?
I mean, like, I guess like I just it's kind of the same as normal. I don't really tell. So like, I have my school friends, and that's who I kind of like hang out with. But then like, my really good friends are still back in Florida, or other places. Like one of them's in California and stuff. And so like, I haven't told them or my family really about like the difficulties I'm having here. I'll kind of be like, oh, sometimes it's hard to, you know, like make friends in a new city or something, but like that's normal. Like I only tell them the normal things. if that makes sense. So, like, I don't tell my family or my friends that, like, I'm failing these classes or that, like, you know, I'm having these thoughts of, like, am I in the wrong, like, career path or things like that. So, like, I don't know. Like, I don't talk to a lot of people about it because I just lie to them and say it's fine.
And what makes you want to lie to them?
I just, like, feel like if I tell them the truth, like, they're gonna think I'm a failure. I mean, like, I already think, not that think I'm a failure, but, like, I already have that feeling of, like, failing, you know, and so it's, like, I don't want them to see me as a failure. So, like, I just try to figure it out on my own and, like, not tell them.
Okay, and who would you feel most comfortable with telling the truth to?
Probably my one friend from back home. She lives in California now, but I'd probably feel most comfortable starting with her, like, as opposed to my family or some of my other friends. Like, I think she'd be really, like, sympathetic and stuff, but, like, I don't know.
Have you known her for a long time?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So,
For about, like, 6 or 7 years.
I got you. And does the school contact your parents in any way if you're failing? Do you know?
No.
No.
No, yeah. I mean, they would never find out unless I, like, didn't graduate or something. But then, like, I'm also, like, kind of thinking about, like, the not graduating reminded me, like, maybe I should just stop school and, like, go into the workforce and just get a job and make money. Like, I don't know. I still think my parents would see me as a failure if I did that because, like, I didn't finish, like, this school. But then it's also, like, I don't know, what would I get a job in? Or if I did go to a different school, like, what would I go to a different school in? Because, like, I thought this is what I liked.
And why do you think your parents would see you as a failure?
I guess they just have, like, high expectations for me when it comes to, like, schoolwork, like they always have. And, like, I've always been really good at school, like, grade school, high school, undergrad. So it's just, like, yeah, I don't know, like, why now all of a sudden, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, so I think they've, like, always had those high expectations, and I've always met them. And so then to, like, not meet them, like, I don't know what that's like. Like, I've never been a bad kid.
Oh, so you couldn't tell me, like, one time that you haven't fulfilled their expectations?
Okay, well, maybe not, like, in the schoolwork, like, sector. Well, I guess, like, undergrad, I didn't graduate with, like, honors or anything, like, special, maybe, but, like, you know, I did a lot more, like, applied work, like, I had a lot of cool internships and stuff, so, like, I think they, like, you know, were kind of, like, not pressuring me, but yeah, I can't ever really think of a time where I didn't meet, like, their expectations for, like, my academics. They don't really have expectations for me for anything else, I guess. I guess just, like, schooling, they've always, like, instilled as, like, really important.
Okay. And do you feel as if they pressured you into going into this line of, like, this major? Do you know?
I don't think so. You know, I think, like, undergrad, like, I think I knew and they knew that, like, what I was going into was something where I needed more schooling, you know, but, like, had I just graduated with a degree that was, like, a 4-year degree, like, I don't know, engineering or marketing or something, like, that would have been fine, but, you know.
Okay, yeah. All right. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that you're afraid to be honest with your parents because of their expectations, but you haven't broken any kind of expectations that they've had.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
Just making sure. Okay. Now, with the exams, is there any kind of like is there any kind of like, because before you said for exams, from the last couple times we've been talking, you said that you kind of felt a little nervous and anxiety during your exams. Have you done anything with that?
Yeah, like test anxiety, I do have like a lot, I guess. I don't know, I've tried like, I don't know if it really worked, but like, I'm a big crammer, like I like to do things last minute, and that's just kind of like how I roll, and so like right before an exam, I'll be like, it probably doesn't help, but I have comfort in having like my notes out and just kind of like doing something real fast, like, and so like when I was trying to like calm my anxieties, I tried putting those away, just like sitting with an empty desk and like breathing, which was probably actually more anxiety inducing because like that cramming was kind of like a comfort to me, and I think sometimes like I did get stuff out of cramming because I'd like remember a last minute point, and then there'd be like one question about it, so it'd be fine. But and so then I tried doing that a couple times, I guess like I try to tell myself like remind myself like you are prepared, like you studied for it. I always try to tell myself like what's done is done, like you've studied. This is just how it's gonna happen, and then like when it turns out bad, it's like, well, it's just the way it goes. I get bad grades on exams.
I gotcha. Can we unpack that a little bit? When you say, I guess I just did bad on exams. Like, how are you feeling in that moment?
I feel like so frustrated. So like I said, like this is kind of like a first time where I've ever been like bad at school. So that's just like a whole new world for me. And I get like really frustrated, and it's like I want to go back and like fix what I'm doing wrong, but like I kind of don't know what I'm doing wrong. And like I don't know, sometimes I was just like, sometimes we get our exams back and it'll be like one where I was between the two and I chose like the other one or so, so it always seems like I'm like so close, but yeah, like so far. I don't know, I get really frustrated. I just get kind of like down. A lot of my like other friends are like better at studying for exams and stuff, so like if they're like, oh yeah, like I got a B on it or something, I'm just like, oh yeah, I was like, I just kind of like diffuse it, so I'm not like, oh yeah, I failed it.
I got you. Yeah. Have you looked into any kind of tutoring that the school offers?
I haven't actually. Yeah. I don't know. I've never tried something like that, I guess, before. Or at least, like, not at the college level. I guess I've never, like, tried tutoring.
Oh, so you have done it beforehand?
Yeah, I did in 8th grade, well, like, junior high. I did tutoring to get me, like, ready for, like, the high school math, because, like, I did a jump into high school math, and then I've had some like Spanish tutoring in high school to help with learning Spanish.
And how did that go for you? Like, what kind of experience did you
have? Well, like the math one was like a group tutoring, so that was kind of cool. It was kind of more of like a club, like it had like a club sense to it, and then like the Spanish tutoring helped me a lot actually with my Spanish. It was really good. It helped me be more like conversational with it and stuff. So yeah, that was really beneficial.
Okay. Your friends, you say what they study as well. Do they have different studying habits than you do? Have you tried studying with them at all?
Yeah, like, I guess, like, when I study with them, it seems like they can just, like, sit there for, like, hours and just, like, study, and, like, I don't know, just that they, like, they just seem to retain information very well, and then I'll kind of be like, I think maybe that's why I study alone, just because I don't want to be, like, during my study time, I don't want to be worrying about, like, if I'm inferior to, like, other people or not, you know? So maybe that's kind of why I study alone, because if I'm with other people, I'll be like, wow, they, you know, did that better or something like that, so.
And how does that make you feel? I feel like that seems, in your situation, it seems a little like you feel inferior in a way. Not to put words in your mouth, but...
I think it just, like, really, maybe not, like, inferior, but I think it adds to, like, the isolation with, like, my school friends because, like, I have my school friends and they're really cool, like, the people in my cohort, and, you know, sometimes, like, after class we'll go get drinks and, like, you know, we know, like, about each other's lives, I guess, but they're not, like, personal friends, you know, so I think it kind of adds to that isolation of, like, me not really becoming, like, really good friends with them, you know, and so that sometimes makes me, like, miss my friends from home, I guess, even more, because, like, those are my, like, personal friends, you know,
Yeah, of course.
but that's, like, not to say I can't make them here in Chicago. I guess I'm just still trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, true. And you say you've gone out as a group to get drinks. Have you ever had like a one-on-one type of outing with one of your peers?
Yeah, with a couple of them. There's like a couple of them that I maybe seem more similar to. And so we'll like eat lunch together or yeah, sometimes after class we'll just kind of like hang out or like run an errand. Like we don't ever like have like really deep conversations or anything, but yeah.
Yeah, and how are those, what do you think would make those people personal friends?
I don't know. Maybe just like time. A lot of them also, like, there's a couple of them who are not from Chicago or like the Chicagoland area, or even like Wisconsin, but most people are from here or like the Midwest. So, you know, other than a couple who are from out of state as well, like they kind of already have friends, or like their friends are only an hour away as opposed to like a 3-hour plane ride. Yeah. So maybe like time and just like a lot of them already like have a life and things to do, and or like they already had like a job here because they're from here, so they had like a job nearby where like I had to start new, like I had to quit my old job and come here and literally start new with like everything. So
yeah, of course. When it comes to planning things with your friends, or peers I should say, how does that go about? Like, how is planning things? Is it a one-way street? Are you both asking each other to do things together? Like, how does that?
Well, the first thing I thought of is like, it's always kind of like a last minute thing, it seems like. Like, we're never like, well, maybe too, because we see each other so often. Like, we wouldn't be on like a Monday, be like, oh, where are you doing next Tuesday? Because we're going to see you like 3 times in between that in class. So it is always kind of like a last minute thing. And then like a lot of times, it's either just kind of like a whole group effort, maybe like, oh, hey, let's all get, go get drinks, and then whoever can, and whoever, can't make it. Or like, I guess sometimes it's like the people who are around here are, more like, oh, hey, there's this cool restaurant, like, let's go, or so. Like, they're more inviting me to something like they already know, which is really nice of them to do. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. So with your peers, do you think that you guys, have you ever taken time to study together?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think I kind of like to study alone, so I do try to avoid it, and sometimes I do see them at the library, so, like, I do join them, just to be nice, but, like, a couple times we've planned it, and then, once we get there, if we each want to put on headphones and not work together, it's fine, but we still, like, go together and, like, share the ride to the library, so.
Yeah. Have you ever, like, asked for help from your peers?
No, not from, like, the people in my class at
Gotcha.
all. I think, not that I would, like, feel embarrassed, but it's just, like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't want to, like, ask for help, maybe. I don't feel comfortable, maybe. I guess, like, I kind of nonchalantly do, because I'll be like, oh, hey, what'd you get for this answer? Or, like, how did you feel about that question or something, but I won't be like, like, I don't tell them that I'm, like, struggling, especially with exams, and that, like, I've ended up failing these 2 classes. Like, definitely not going to tell them that.
Yeah. Why would you not want to tell them that?
I guess, yeah, that is, like, embarrassing, because, like, they're probably, like, all doing really well in class, and, like, we're each kind of, like, a separate person. Like, I really don't know how much, like, a peer or, like, someone who is in the class with me right now, like, could help me. I like that you mentioned, like, the tutoring thing, because maybe it's, like, someone who's, like, taken it before and is now, like, looking back at it, or, like, if they know the professor maybe a little more or something, like, maybe they'd have more insight for me.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, actually. How is your relationship with your professors and your advisor? Have you talked to them about your exams and homework and having trouble with that?
Yeah, well, one professor I emailed, about it, and he was just kind of like, what was outlined in the syllabus, that this is, like, the grades, and this is the cutoffs, and this is this, and very cutthroat, and he wasn't very, like, helpful. I mean, I didn't ask him for, like, a tutor or anything, because, like, I kind of just thought about it now with you, but, like, he could have been, like, talk to my TA, maybe you can, like, set appointments with them or something. Like, he wasn't very, like, open or helpful at all. And my advisor is really nice, and I really like him. He is, like, super great, but he seems more kind of just, like, making sure I'm doing the classes I need to do, and, like, I'm on my way to graduation. Like, I don't even know if he really knows, like, what my grades are, and, like, he kind of, like, doesn't seem like that's, like, his position, to, like, be worrying about, like, my grades. He's more just making sure, like, I do the right things, I guess, to get, like, my degree done. But I did mention to him about, like, having difficulty in this class and emailing that professor, and the professor being, I thought, very rude about it. I did bring that up, and he was just kind of like, he knows that professor because it's, like, in his same department, and he was like, well, I'm not surprised, that he did that, like, he answered it that way, but, if there's, like, anything else, like, he was kind of just like, if you can brainstorm any other ways to, like, get help in that class, because the professor's most likely not going to be, a place to get help in that class. You're probably going to have to look elsewhere. And I'm like, well, that's good to know that it wasn't just me, I guess, that he was being rude too, so.
Yeah, it's good that you expressed that to him, especially since you felt that way, because I'm sure you're not the only one then.
Yeah, I guess.
If that was the answer you got. Did he give you any other kind of outlet for that then when he said that, or did he just say you need to find help?
Yeah, he was just like, you can go, so he's, like, in my, like, department, like, my major, I've been thinking about going to, like, the college, that like all the majors are
Mhm.
in. Like they have advisors. So I've been thinking about maybe going and seeing one of them. I don't really know like what their job is or what they do, but just seeing like if they can help.
Mhm.
And then counseling. That's I thought I'd come and check out like counseling and see if that might help.
Yeah, of course.
To see if maybe once I was in counseling, if eventually like grades started picking up or something. So
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad that you went and talked to your advisor, especially since your professor was no help. Yeah, and it seems that even though you are close with your peers, I think you could be a smidge closer.
okay.
I mean, since you said they're not like your personal friends, and obviously
Yeah.
there is that dynamic of school versus personal life. But like you had said with becoming personal, having that time, what kind of extra time, because you said more time would make them personal friends. What kind of time would you be thinking of in that sense?
I don't know. I guess I was just like kind of thinking like my friends at home. Like I've known them. Like the one I was telling you, I've known her for like
Mhm.
6 or 7 years. But now looking back, like we were like best friends as soon as we met. So I guess I didn't really. I don't know. Some people you just know, and some people you don't. I
Mhm.
guess I don't know. I guess I maybe kind of have like a fear of kind of like getting personal with them. Like I have like this mentality where I'd almost rather be like personal friends with just like a stranger
Mhm.
instead of like the school people.
Why you
kind of
feel
like
that way?
I don't know. It's kind of like a mental block I have, maybe. I don't know. I guess like we have a lot in common, and I think
Mhm.
I like tend to like overlook that or like undermine that,
Mhm.
and like I tend to look at us all as like having like really different lives. Like you live here and you live here and you work here. Like we're all very So I think I look at it kind of like that. Like they're too busy for me. Like they all have like their lives.
Mhm.
Like I need to find friends that are like in my life. Whether that be
Of course.
But we do have a lot in common. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, we've gotten through a lot today.
Yeah.
A lot. I have a couple things that I want you to do before we meet next time. Firstly, I want you to know that I'm sure your peers don't feel that way, that they are too busy for you. So what I want you to do is, first I want you to get in touch with the tutoring program.
Yeah, definitely. I think
That
that's a great
seems
idea.
like a big thing, especially since it's midterms and you're failing. That, and I would definitely, I know your advisor said that you'd have to find help elsewhere, but I feel like that is his job to help
Okay.
you, like you said, get to graduation, get to that
Yeah.
point. So just bringing up like, hey, I'm failing 2 classes, it's midterms, that's where do I go from here? Because it's a big hole you've dug yourself in.
Yeah.
So that tutoring, and then open up to your friend about your classes and everything. I know you're uncomfortable with
Yeah.
your family thinking that they'd be a failure, but I think you should at least tell your friend, maybe see how you feel after that,
Okay.
see how she reacts to it,
Yeah.
and then maybe you guys maybe she would have some more input on talking to your family about it.
That's
In that
true.
way.
She probably would. Yeah.
Because I'm assuming she knows your family.
Yeah. Yeah. She does.
I'm assuming, since you've been friends for so long, I'm assuming she knows your family.
Yeah,
very
she
well.
does. I never
So
thought
maybe
about that.
Maybe
Yeah.
she'd have some input on that.
Yeah.
So yes, and along with tutoring, if you could ask one of your peers to at least study with, because then at least you have someone in the same realm as you.
Yeah.
Whereas with a tutor, it's more so just generalization.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We can try that.
All right. Sounds great.
Okay.
I'll see you next week.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, dear.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
For all that you do.
I really hope this.
I love you. It's fun.
I really hope. Stop. Oh, okay, it's still going.
Oh my god, I was like,
Hey.
what the fuck is that shit?